Welcome to a game about digging
This is
a
a game
hole.
about
So
digging
today
a
on
hole.
Smitty Plays, I'm
Welcome
playing
back
a
for the
game
first
about
time to a game about digging a hole. Yes, you read.
This is a game about digging a hole, and it seems like a fairly unremarkable game, being made in only 3 weeks by an artist. Except, in 1 week, it sold over $1.2 million worth of copies, and was played by big names like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and Queso. In a world where most games, even indie games, have 3, 4, 5-year timelines and are often completely over budget and under-deliver, this game is a complete outlier. So I've done a lot of digging to find out whether there are some crucial marketing and development strategies we can take away from this game, and whether there is actually more to this story than is originally let on. So this is German indie game studio Cyberwave, which has a strong track record of previous games like Balloon Fight, Hourglass, which was released on console and PC, and their latest, most ambitious project, Solarpunk, an upcoming cozy survival game which raised over 300,000 euros on Kickstarter. Now, during the development of Solarpunk, at one point they had designed and programmed this voxel terrain system. This system was soon scrapped, but among the team was one artist named Ben, who just couldn't let this mechanic go to waste, and wanted to put it to use. So he thought of an idea. About a decade ago, he would play an old Flash game called Motherlode, where you would mine to collect resources and unlock upgrades. And so he decided to take a 2-week vacation off work and to spin off this terrain system into a stylized 3D version of Motherlode in Unreal Engine 5. Now, he thought that this would just sell a couple hundred copies, but this decision would probably change the entire course of his life. Now, he didn't work alone. He worked with the studio's publisher to flesh out the hook of the game, and their goal from the start was to make something visually interesting that would make an impact on social media. And they knew that if they could do that, then the press and YouTubers would follow. But what they completely underestimated was everyone's desire to just dig a hole. The clips went absolutely viral everywhere, and what also worked in their favor was December being a quiet month for game releases. The game was announced in December 2024 and quickly gained over 100,000 wishlists on Steam. And in just 1 week, it sold over 250,000 copies. So what factors contributed to the game's success? And is there more to the story? Well, this game was by no means an amateur game. The two devs had connections to a publisher, and it wasn't their first rodeo, releasing Hourglass as their first project together 3 years prior. The game also built on existing physics and systems from their main project. I wouldn't be surprised if more stuff other than the terrain system was reused from the main project, like some art, UI systems, and other logic like options. So this game was definitely a sort of lottery ticket game, where experienced developers with good connections created a project that landed perfectly with the press. But there's more to analyze here. This game reminds me a lot of Untitled Goose Game, which was released over 4 years ago and had a similar success. Both games have a very unique title, which immediately stands out and stops your scroll on Steam or YouTube when you see a trailer for it. Furthermore, the game was the perfect streamer base, which in other words is games specifically made for YouTubers and streamers to play that will look good in a thumbnail and are easy enough to understand to keep viewers hooked.
Absolutely everything.
No!
The game is super simple to understand and consume for a broad audience. It looks bright and has an interesting hook, which is trying to find treasure at the bottom of a hole. At $5, the game also hits the perfect price point, where you might just impulse buy a game like this or gift it to a friend. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of players who bought this game haven't even opened it. It also helped that the studio which helped publish this game had another huge IP, with Solarpunk having over 400,000 wishlists, being the 26th most wishlisted game on Steam. With the ball rolling, it wasn't long until major outlets like IGN picked it up and other YouTubers made similar videos within weeks of one another. So although this game's success certainly wasn't purely accidental, being built upon years of effort, preparation, and existing technology, it's a really interesting example of a strategic move to reuse a discarded feature from your main game to try your luck making a spin-off of an already proven concept.